to the Breakroom, everybody. Today we're doing a classic Breakroom. This is kind of a similar cast, similar format to what we used to do. If you're new to the Breakroom and to the channel, all of that's meaningless. But we've got a lot of fun things to talk to you about. It's kind of a big news week, and there's a lot of fun things coming up this week. With me to discuss a new Spider-Verse short film, some Flash stuff, and World's Sexiest Robot. I've got Brandon Barrick.
Hey, yo, can't wait to talk about these sexy robots.
World's second sexiest robot, John Costa.
Please refer to me only as Jessica Clemens from now on.
No, we can't say that.
Why?
We can't say it legally.
And then noted robot MILF hunter,
Oh, God.
Tommy Bechtold.
Oh, God. It's too early
First
in the
things
show
first, the world's sexiest robot prefers to go by former Vice President Mike Pence, so please call him by the name that he's earned. Secondly, had a great weekend engaging with a lot of you in the comment section of the break room. Thank you for all your kind words. Really mentally healthy of most of you. The rest of you, you know, I don't need you to tell me you hate me and that I should go. I get it. I hate myself. I want to go.
No.
I've been trying to get out of this contract for 3 years. Okay?
That legally Tommy is required.
I want to work at Foot Locker.
That's right. He's been begging us to.
I want to be a sneakerhead.
And
I
again,
can dunk.
If you're watching us on Twitch, welcome. Please be active in the chat. If you're not watching us on Twitch, you're watching us on YouTube. Thank you. Like and subscribe, please. We're trying to build up this brand new, awesome little channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, why don't you consider checking out Twitch next time we're live? And if you're watching on Twitch, catch anything you missed over on YouTube.
And if you've been kidnapped by the North Koreans and they're forcing you to watch as some sort of pyramid scheme I may have sold them on last summer during my visit there to Barry Bibles,
Barry Bibles.
just remember that
Is he related to Barry Pepper?
you guys don't know Barry Bibles?
Wait, why would they be related by first name?
Yeah. You don't know that all Barrys are related?
Okay.
So are all Garfields.
Let's start with some headlines. We've got some fun
Oh,
headlines
baby.
here. Okay. First off, we got a new Secret Invasion clip that just dropped today. Not to be confused with the Secret Invasion clip that dropped late last week. That was the first full scene, or we think one of the first full scenes from the premiere episode. The new clip shows it's kind of focused around Maria Hill and Nick Fury, them talking. Maria Hill tells Fury he wasn't the same after the blip, and he's not ready.
Wasn't the same after the blip in that he's a different person now?
He was blipped and then came back. We haven't gotten into, I mean, obviously a lot of Marvel content over the last couple of years has dealt with blip repercussions, people coming back, people that lost people, all this kind of stuff. I would love to spend some time on like the psychology of somebody who is blipped.
There was an early report sometime last year that Fury, we would see him during the blip. Now, obviously, he was dusted, so I don't know if that means that it's like Talos as Fury or what. But I remember that report. We haven't seen anything like that in trailers, but
Is there any... Don't laugh at me. Is there a possibility that some people were blipped, but then like they didn't fully blip and they came back early? Like there was like a blip interference? Like did Fury have some like anti-blip tech that he was like disintegrating and then he hit a button and like so we see like Maria Hill blips and then like 2 seconds later he reassembles?
They might reveal in the show that he didn't actually blip, but as Maria Hill was blipping, he reached into his pocket
And threw
threw
some
up
dust.
some dust, and then went down a manhole cover. Everyone thought it was blipped.
Wow,
And that's how they're going to explain
That
it.
is preparation. And real quick, do we want to tease some of our Secret Invasion coverage plans here on the Break Room?
we're doing a lot. We're doing full episode reactions to every single episode.
Who's going to stay up that late?
Well, Tommy and me are going to do it. I'm not going to be on camera. We're going to have a different special guest, TBD. Tomorrow night.
I hope it's Santa.
Tomorrow night, you, me, and Santa are going to go see the first couple of episodes.
Yes,
of
we're going to the launch event, so we'll have some
We'll have
coverage
our
from
first
that.
thoughts about the show coming to you probably tomorrow night, if not early in the morning. And you got an inside scoop that the first episode ends with.
I don't want to say and I don't want to reveal my sources because I want to keep them my sources, but I have heard the first episode of this show is a quote-unquote game changer.
Whoa, game changer.
Oh.
Also, I'm going to be speaking to some of the creatives at a little press junkie.
The director?
I believe I'm speaking with one of the directors. Is the same director for all episodes?
I don't know.
I
We'll
don't
have
know.
to ask them.
I don't want to reveal. I like to tease.
It's a good tease.
Wait, you don't want to reveal your source, IMDb, that tells you who directed what?
Yeah, I don't like. Please don't say their name out loud. We'll have some junket footage that I believe is gonna air on Inside Marvel as part of their coverage.
I say we put it out.
We might take it for ourselves too. Guess what? My junkets are forever.
And real quick, when you say full episode reactions, this means that people, right, you will be watching in real time the full episode. People can watch along and basically hear
I don't know if
Tommy.
we're going to be streaming that. I think it's
Okay.
just going to be a standalone YouTube video, similar to you guys reacting to the clips the other day. We're gonna put it
But so let's say you watch Secret Invasion when it drops at midnight, or maybe you watch it first thing in the morning. A few hours later, you can re-watch Secret Invasion, the full episode, with your friends at the break room.
That's
basically.
right. That's right.
That's really
We'll
fun.
also have episodes of Inside Marvel. They're going to be here, with some cool people. We've got Eric Voss,
Oh no.
The
the
Eric
Voss.
Voss.
Eric
That'd be
Voss.
very cool.
Hector Navarro.
Ooh, I love
An
Hector.
old friend of the channel. We're so happy to have her back. Maud Garrett is going to be doing Inside Marvel with
She's
us.
going to interpret what the Skrulls are saying.
That's right.
'Cause we
That's
all
right.
have
Because she's
Australian
from the
accents.
Skrull. She's from the Skrull.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then
Tell her.
It's a lot of Secret Invasion stuff. We're gonna do another show sometime later during the week called Skrull Search, where we just kind of try to figure out who the fuck is the Skrull.
fun.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
Do you think they're gonna have some big scroll reveals on the show?
They have to.
Or are they gonna just?
Yeah.
What
They're gonna keep it
game
quiet.
changing?
Yeah.
Game changing.
Well, are you saying outside of Nick, Maria, kind of the people that we already know are in the
have
show?
been-
I think Rhodey's just.
Save it for Skrull Search.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Also,
Yeah.
I have unleashed my Tommy bots to secretly invade Canada, so I'm hoping to be King of Canada by the end of Secret
I
Invasion.
thought they got rid of the monarchy
Wow.
there.
It's
Oh,
not
they're
a-
bringing
Is
it
that
back.
in conjunction
Hashtag Tommy
with-
bots.
Is that in conjunction
assemble.
with Barry Bibles or
Make them come.
make them come?
That's what I say. I'm the leader of the Tommy bots. Tomtimus Crime.
Whoa,
Optimus Prime.
save some of this for later in this episode when we're talking sexy robots.
Beg them to come.
Oh my God. Into that,
Read a book to make them come. Sorry.
across the Spideyverse news.
We didn't even talk
Over
about
the weekend, across the Spideyverse, it's well deep into the 200 millions at the box office. It's already surpassed the entire box office run of the first movie.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crushing it. And at the Animation Film Festival, Annecy, thank you, International Film Festival.
Amnesty.
They shared a Spider-Verse short film that is kind of themed around mental health awareness. And it is the characters from the Spider-Verse films, Miles and mainly his father, Jeff. Miles has a panic attack when he's overwhelmed by work and school and being a superhero and all this kind of stuff. They screened it at this festival to rousing reception. I guess it also has some Easter eggs that have been hinted at, including maybe some Earth 42 kind of references. There are currently, we have a still from it.
Whoa.
There's our dude.
This movie's so beautiful.
It is. Even that still is like gorgeous. You can't see this anywhere right now. They haven't announced any plans. We were guessing maybe this shows up on the Blu-ray. Maybe it eventually gets uploaded to a streamer separately.
I hope Disney Plus at least has it. I mean, come on, it wouldn't. I'm sorry, Sony. What does Sony have? Technically a streamer.
Sony does not have like its own streaming service. They usually license out their movies all over the place. Right now, I believe a lot of the Spiders content is on Disney Plus.
It is,
finally, after being far from home and finding no way home. It's had its homecoming. So you can't watch a lot of it now on Disney Plus. But yeah, Sony usually sells the rights of the streaming rights of these movies kind of, months at a time to different services, and they bounce around.
to the highest bidder.
Well, let there be carnage.
Yeah. I mean, Into the Spider-Verse wasn't like available for streaming anywhere for a long time. I don't know if it is right now.
It is
You had
not
to
currently.
rent it.
It's not currently available.
Probably because Sony's like, we'd rather you rent this movie. We know you want to watch it.
People keep paying up. People keep paying up.
Oh, dang.
We were just looking at some inside baseball here at New Rockstars, right? When we released the breakdown for the first movie, right after it released, Into the Spider-Verse, it got like 1.5 million views. It's at like 4 million now.
Wow.
Which is like, and most of those views came months after release, which is pretty rare for us. And I think it shows that like people kind of came to this movie later than a lot of these big releases. They discovered it on their own and they loved it.
I did not see the movie in theaters.
Yeah,
I missed
same.
it in theaters. I didn't watch it until after.
I caught like an end of the theater run after I'd heard so much good word about it. Because for me, I was not that. I was excited about it, but I was like, I'll catch it when it's streaming. And I heard so much good stuff about it. And at my screening, it was like all people who had seen it before, you could tell, because they knew
Going
all
back.
the hits.
They
that
were
coming.
singing along like Rocky Horror.
They were singing along.
That's
I
right.
saw it twice in theaters. I don't want to brag, but I did. I was an early adopter of the Spider-Verse. I knew. I had the Spider Curse. I had to see it.
What are folks saying in the chat? Our good friend Nerd Girl Jean. Hello, Jean. Look at all these handsome nerdy men.
Where are they?
Where are they?
Well, I was
Where are
gonna
they?
say,
Where are
I
they?
see some really. I see we're bookended by just two beautiful T-shirts, and I was wondering if they're available for
Where can we buy?
purchase.
These are, what makes me handsome is some great merch from Nerd Riot, Dashiell.
Woo!
I'm wearing the, I think it's called the Web Crawler or something like that, but it's clearly a shirt inspired by Miguel. Brandon's wearing the cool design that kind of
logo.
features multiple
Spider logos
all
combined.
overlapping.
And this is
Prowler?
Uniqlo,
Whoa.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, okay. You can
This
get
is
all of
the-
our...
I didn't think I was going to be on the show today.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
you can get the entire Spider-Verse line at nerdriot.shop. And I just learned on Wednesday we're dropping our Secret Invasion line. It's a secret. It's a secret.
Well, that ties into this next comment from Sarah Hachadorian. Do you guys think that since One Graphics and present day, we're going to get flashbacks in Secret Invasion?
I mean, there's got to be if they're gonna pull the trigger on some characters that we've known for a while being Skrulls, I'd love to see how they slipped into the role and where that person
Yeah.
is. Like if Rhodey is a Skrull, like a lot of people are saying, has that been since he got injured in Civil War and actually died at the hospital and they threw him in the trash and the Skrull was like, or has he been swapped in from the very beginning?
Don't you think if there's any reveals that ongoing characters have been Skrulls for any length of time, you have to show us when it first happened?
Sure,
Right?
sure.
You have to flash back because that's like where all the good drama comes
Does
from.
that get
right?
us into some cameos of Tony Stark or whoever?
Are we
Maybe
doing
an off-screen voice?
Are we doing any specific Secret Invasion predictions? Because if not, I want to know who is the wildest could be a Skrull. Like, what's your craziest? This person is revealed to be a Skrull in this show.
I mean, mine for a long time has been Happy Hogan, and that's only because in the comics, Happy Hogan turned out to be a Skrull, so it kind of makes sense. But like having the idea that Nick Fury purposely got Happy the job, like there was no real Happy Hogan. In my mind, Happy Hogan was always a Skrull that Nick Fury put in there to keep tabs on the heir to the Stark fortune.
Interesting.
Right? That was my theory.
But he's risked his life for Tony so many times. At a certain point, he's
Yeah,
bought
because
in.
he gets paid, dude. It's a good job.
I don't know. I get paid.
He got
I don't
Aunt
give
May.
a shit about
He's
it.
an alien who got Aunt May. I'd give it all.
Yeah, for Marissa Tomei, I'd hide out as John Favreau for a while.
Okay. Thank you to Nacho Gaming 20, Lex Derev, your boy Jay. Thank you all for subscribing, and thank you Aaron Storm for giving out gift subs. Thank
Yeah,
you all
thank
for all your support on
It's
Twitch.
it's always nice to see people giving out those gift subs too. What a generous act. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. And just circling back to Across the Spider-Verse box office news. Yeah, again, Variety reporting that in less than 2 weeks, it's already surpassed Into the Spider-Verse. It hit 226 million in North America and 390 million worldwide.
What a great global come. Q.
What are you
Give me a
talking
Q.
about?
Global Q.
And it's Sony's highest grossing animated release in history. Besides Into the Spider-Verse, can you name a single other Sony animated release?
Mitchell's versus the Machine.
Is that a Sony
that
joint?
Sony?
Lord Miller or
Didn't they do the
That's all I got.
Emoji movie? Was
Also,
that them? Or
Mitchell's
was that
vs. the
Illumination?
Machines was a Netflix movie, I believe.
It was produced by Sony Pictures Animation.
So, and it had a $0
Yeah,
box
yeah.
office. Yeah,
They didn't put that on. They must have put it on the box.
I don't think so. I think that was a
It was
Netflix
pandemics.
joint.
I don't know.
Evan, Google real quick. What are all the other Sony animated joints? But this weekend,
Lego movies?
this
Those would have
weekend,
been Warner Brothers.
Across the Spider-Verse came in just behind Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Your number one movie at the box office. Tommy did a great ending explained and breakdown of those on our channel last week on New Rockstars.
Thank you for watching the Breakroom review of that. We weren't expecting to get such a positive reaction. If you want us to kind of broaden our scope a little bit, we appreciate you guys watching something.
Oh yeah.
And much thank you to Brandon for his assist on the breakdown.
Yeah.
That was a fun breakdown to do. You know, I liked the Transformers growing up in 2002 as a young man, but was never super into them. So I've learned a lot in my research recently, and really enjoyed the franchise.
Great lore,
great,
and it really kind of like, as we learned this about, of course, the Mario fandom recently, but like a deep fandom of Transformers folks that watched all the animated series, that read the comics, that know everything about it.
Yeah, you couldn't see it. You know, we did our review episode of the Breakroom, but Jay didn't let us sleep for another 3 hours.
Yeah,
He kept talking.
he insisted the cameras were still rolling.
We tried to leave,
here
and
somewhere.
he held us down, all three of us, with his arms.
with his massive biceps.
Incredible.
The Transformers, the most recent Transformers release, it made 110 million at the international box office, 170 million worldwide, so about 60 in the U.S.
What a cue.
And like, I was looking up these numbers. I'm sorry, what was that, Thomas?
So what a cue.
What a cumulative. That's pretty good. Like, it's a little bit down from Bumblebee, mostly due to Bumblebee really crushed it in China. And I don't know if you're like a box office watcher, but like the way American films are released in China has changed a lot in the last few years. And basically all American movies are making a lot less money in China for a variety of reasons. So really, with that being said, like, it did great in a lot of countries. Like, I know there's parts of the movie are set in Peru, and it's like it did like the best any Transformers movie's ever done in Peru. For instance.
They did a lot of they did several like kind of premieres of this movie worldwide, which I think is very smart to go to these different markets and be there, bring your stars there. You know, have a big event. It really promotes it in those areas. I'm not surprised it did that well internationally, especially this and Across the Spider-Verse, which a lot of times you hear about, like, oh, they're making the movies a little simpler so that it doesn't matter where, if you don't speak English as like your first language or something, like you can understand what's going on in the movie. But like Across the Spider-Verse is not a simple comprehend movie, and there's so much going on. Like, I'm excited to see it do so well.
Very rooted in a very specific cultural context too, right? The immigrant experience in New York City, right? Like that's super specific. But as great screenwriters always say, the specific is the. Okay, I should have. I think it's something like the personal is relatable or something like that. The specific is the universal, something like that, right? So even like I have nothing in common with Miles Morales, but like I can still find ways to tap into like his experience, even though he's in a different city and a different generation, all this kind of stuff, right?
And I think just to kind of, you know, with Transformers global appeal, the worldwide releases are smart. Also, you have a movie where you can get the most talented voice actors in every country to voice, or in every language to voice the Transformers, and it doesn't, you know. Sometimes when you're watching a Netflix show and you want to watch it, I mean, I like subtitles just because I don't hear the best anyway, but like you watch it with the English dubbing and it's like, it's so clearly not matching up, it can be distracting. It's like, well, aside from Air Razor's complex and sensual mouth, the rest of them are just, you know, it doesn't really matter.
What? We didn't have a single Transformer on our sexy robots list.
That's not true. That's not true.
Again, let's tease. Later on, we're going to be doing sexiest robot rankings.
Sexy robot.
Wheeljack can get it,
But
dude.
before we get to sexy robots, let's talk about sexy toys. Specifically,
What's wrong with this show?
Barbie.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay. They're sexy too. But, of course, we're really jazzed for the July premiere of the Barbie movie. Boppenheimer, we will be doing
Yes.
Do we think that New Rockstars will put out a breakdown of Barbie before it puts out a breakdown of Oppenheimer? Where do you think we'll end up scheduling this?
I think it just depends on which one Eric likes better.
Yeah, or I
one
mean,
we see
let's
first?
be honest. Our friends at either Universal or Warner Brothers, whichever one we can get in to see earlier.
Yeah, who's a better friend?
Yeah.
Who's a better friend right now?
Yes.
We're easy to buy. Just get us into a screening so we can make that video.
I mean, the thing is, though, we know how the Oppenheimer movie ends. We do not know how the Barbie movie ends.
You let me bring my crutches down that pink carpet.
we know Barbie is going to stand over Ken's lifeless body and say, "I am become the destroyer of worlds." We all know that's going to happen. But The reason we're talking Barbie today, Vogue UK has released a series of photos of Barbie costume sketches from the film. In an interview with costume designer Jacqueline Duran, let's roll through some of these images and kind of the references they used. Oh, that's a nice little sketch.
Oh, what a stunning pink
Marcos.
gingham dress.
I know. We're maybe the worst panel to talk fashion, but
I do. I love the
Brandon
pool.
just identified the print on that dress.
It's a pink
so-
gingham.
It's a
It's lovely. I love that the pool is like
Whoa.
solid water. Oh yes, the party disco dress, very nice. Love
And
to
I
see it.
believe, are those cursive B's on the dress? Can we
Bees
go
in
back? Can we
cursive?
go back to
I
that?
don't know. It's hard to tell.
cursive bees.
Yeah, it looks like a little curly key.
Oh, I see
cursive.
the little curly
see
coo.
that?
Oh, okay.
Well, like I said, I don't hear well, so my other senses are heightened.
Yeah,
Up your
maybe-
Daredevil.
I don't know about a bee. Maybe a cursive wasp or yellow jacket.
Yeah.
Boo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
What's the toy doing behind him?
Gosling is
I think it's a horse like attached to the car.
Yeah, you know how
grill
like
of
truck
the car.
drivers sometimes have stuffed
Sure,
animals attached to
also,
their
I
grill.
mean, Ryan
To let
Gosling's
you know
always
what
been
they'll
in
do in
good
the parking
shape.
lot.
Dude, veins on veins.
Yeah.
No water for Ryan that day. No water.
Ah,
There's the
paper
horses.
skin.
The horses. There's so much horse imagery in this movie.
Huh.
Between like the Ken symbol with the horse and the horseshoe, and then the,
Yeah.
and the horse on the front. Of
The
the car.
Gosling's all goosed up in that.
It's all
pic.
goosed up.
He's in a goose suit.
It's all natural. It's all natural. Classic
So,
Western.
like, what's
Fringe.
the Halloween costume here?
Yeah.
Which one are we doing?
I think
We all have to be Kens for Halloween.
Yeah, Kens, you're gonna see a lot of Western Kens, I think, for Halloween.
It's a fun one.
And I think this like the denim or like the sporty Ken.
I mean, that
You see a lot of-
rollerblade look is
Yeah.
pretty. There it is.
Rollerblade, you see that a
That's
lot.
great.
Yeah, dude.
You see
There's
that
going to be a
They
lot
can
of
be so
broken ankles
efficient.
on Halloween this year.
Was that the first Barbie that could bend her knees? Was rollerblading Barbie?
Oh, I don't know. Ask
You
Ken.
have the
No,
articulation.
stop.
Ask Ken. I'm going to be Ken who gave up.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be Ken who got fired from his job and has been home eating a lot of Hostess.
Hey, let's go to the chat. What are folks saying in our Twitch chat? Or feel free to throw your Barbie thoughts. If you have any other thoughts on Transformers: Rise of the Beast,
I will say, like, Eric's big theory about Barbie is that it is a horror movie, like, full stop. Like, it's. I mean, I think the movie will definitely have like a happy ending.
We don't
right?
have a rating for it,
It'll
do
have
we?
some sort of message. I don't think there's been a rating yet.
I think NC-17 is
No,
the rule.
Hey, I would be
They're-
down.
they want it to be a 4-quadrant movie. They want little girls to be able to go
look
see
at
it.
you.
I mean,
PG.
it's very intriguing though because letting like Greta Gerwig kind of direct this movie and take it in a weird place, but this is like a Mattel movie. Like they own this movie, full stop. So it'll be interesting to see how far they're allowed to go with it. Amy Schumer has been saying she was originally like attached to a Barbie movie that like never came to be, and she has made it very clear that like the movie she was given or had seen either a script of or their plan for it was like very different from what this movie has become. Obviously,
They didn't really want to make the kind of Barbie movie she was interested in making,
Right.
but clearly they agreed with Greta Gerwig's vision. So.
Yeah.
If folks in the chat are kind of putting in their scroll predictions, Nerd Girl Jean saying Nebula. A lot of people agreeing with Brandon's Happy Hogan
Nebula?
guess.
if you're scrolling as Nebula like before Thanos is dead and you're
Right.
like getting tortured, and you're like, that's a bad spot to be.
Change out of being Nebula.
One of the interesting things about being a scroll is that like as you're in pain, you start like transforming back. It's like you have to like maintain concentration on your disguise
yeah, we
or
know
something
like,
like that.
the weird like disassembly image. Like I don't think a scroll can
No.
shift like that. So Sarah Hatchadorian, Ned,
No chance.
love it. H Basso 13, the president.
I mean,
That
that's
makes
a big
sense.
one. That's a big
That
one.
makes a lot of sense.
And like we see that image of him crashing in a car in the most recent trailer. It's kind of spliced in a way where it looked like was Nick Fury shooting down a helicopter with the president in
Right.
it, but it wasn't. Like the helicopters, it was attacking the car that had the president in it. Then Nick Fury shoots down the helicopter.
I do like this theory from Jimmy Lav. Do we find out Val is a scroll leading us to Thunderbolts, but only the audience finds out? I do think there's got to be a couple lingering
Well, also,
scroll
Ross
threads.
and Val were married
Don't-
because they're both Skrulls.
Ooh, maybe. And
They're a
also,
scruple.
don't you think that in the same way that Nick Fury has like his Skrull buddy Talos that kind of poses him, wouldn't Val have her own Skrull buddy
Sure.
that she uses that's like an employee?
If clones don't exist, the next best thing is a little scroll that can.
Well, and the
Oh,
idea,
clones exist. Who do you think's doing my laundry right now?
the idea too that like Maria Hill is a Skrull but like has always been a Skrull and has been known to be a Skrull to Nick Fury because obviously we saw Talos and the other Skrull whose name I forget. Soren, thank you. Portraying both Fury and Hill in Far From Home.
Wait, you're saying Maria Hill has been a Skrull the whole time?
Yeah, there's never been a human Maria Hill. That because we had the Skrulls who come in
the 90s
in Captain Marvel, and you'll see this when you guys do your rewatch.
So would it be fair to say this Skrull has lies?
I guess so.
This Hill has lies.
The Hill has.
Sorry.
Hey, listen, Tommy. The personal is the.
Well, you bring that up, but in the clip that was just released today, Maria Hill is like, there is a problem, very definitively. And in the clip that they released last week,
The toilet is clogged.
the toilet was clogged.
You've got to stop eating so much steak frites.
But the clip that they released last week, Everett Ross had to be convinced.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't know if Maria and Ross are working together, but like she knows that there's a problem.
Well, and Brandon's saying like Maria Hill might have been a Skrull. Like there is no human Maria Hill.
Right.
So she's only been a Skrull character. I like that idea. I also like the idea you kind of saying that reminded me like, could there be a Skrull who looks like a human who has lived their entire life as a human and doesn't know that they're a Skrull?
I mean, that would take some level of mind manipulation. That could be possible.
Well, maybe as a child, right?
Yeah,
We know
yeah.
there were Skrull children on Earth, right? Like they morphed. You know, how much do you remember before age 4, right? Like, and you grew and you aged.
If you're like, I mean, why have I never taken my T-shirt off? Well, your T-shirt is part of your body. You're replicating that T-shirt.
Why can't I be nude? in
That's
the
how you
shower?
figure out who a Skrull is. Just be like, take your clothes off. And if they can't do it,
HD guy, Bilbo is a Skrull, referring to Everett Ross there.
sure.
Ryan Painter also saying Everett Ross can't be a Skrull because he is doomed.
Right. Hashtag Ross is due.
Ross is due.
There's my guys. There's another Tommy bot.
Sean J. Rich, 86. Sharon Carter could be a Skrull.
I have
fixed the
issue.
power broker?
No, I have an issue with that because if it's just like there's a real Sharon Carter tied up who's like, I'm a good person, I've never been evil. No, I want Sharon Carter to
Yeah,
break
me
bad
too.
and be the power broker.
Well, is it better that if Sharon Carter is a Skrull, it's not as incesty when Cap
It's
was
not
all up in her Joe's?
He might be her grandfather.
That's her niece.
Grandfather Paradox. Jal JK.
He's grandfathered in, if you know what I'm saying.
More like Grandfather Paradockers. I don't know.
Ooh.
What about Pepper Potts? That's actually a name I was going to
Pepper
throw
Potts.
out. Also, I haven't seen Transformers, but loved the breakdown and loved the review. Good job, Tommy, on
thank you.
breakdown. Love you, man. Hey, we love you back, buddy.
We prefer if you
Paramount.
continue to be rude to Tommy in the comments.
No,
no.
Double down on
nice.
that.
I just don't make it about my humor. My sense of humor I'm sensitive about. Just rip on my body all you want. I don't care. I'm also aware it's bad. But
Hey.
my sense of humor, how dare you?
Would you say the hills have lies?
Would you say this hill will lie still until he has to kill?
Okay. Well, next week is Secret Invasion week. This week's Flash week.
Oh, baby.
So let's talk a little Flash.
The best superhero movie of all time.
I mean,
According
the
to some
hype
people.
has been building for over a year for this.
So now on Friday we're going to do a full panel review, kind of like we did for Transformers, but for the Flash. And
Can we get a preview score from Tommy right now? Tommy's seen the
Tommy
movie.
is the only one
Give
of
me
us
your
that's seen it.
score / soundtrack / music.
Okay.
Rating out of
Score / soundtrack / music rating is great. It's a 5
Oh, okay.
out of
7.
Perfect score.
Yeah, listen, the movie's great. It really is good. I saw an unfinished copy, so they were very specific to requests that we not talk about it because it's not what people
sorry,
are
I
going to.
made you talk
No.
about it.
I'm not going to talk about specifics. They're just like, this isn't the finished product. Please don't review this. This is just a screening so you can kind of start to gather your thoughts on it. I think people are going to be very happy that are fans of specific superheroes in this movie. I don't think anyone that's dreading it is going to be paid off. If you love Morph from X-Men, you're not going to be
Yeah, the
happy.
Tommy version, the version you saw, Tommy, it features Michael Keaton Batman's like burning down an entire orphanage.
Yeah.
And as the kids
he
run
keeps
out, he throws them back
He
in.
keeps going, you want to get nuts? I only have one nut because I had a testicular cancer scare 10 years ago and Alfred cut it out with a hot poker because I won't go to the hospital because I don't trust trust hospitals because they lied about COVID, or as I call it, the Kung Flu. And I'm like, Michael, please, it's Michael Keaton. It's Michael Keaton. And he goes, at one point he goes, I'm not Bruce Wayne. I'm Michael Keaton. Keep the cameras on me. Keep the cameras on me. So if you don't want that, you're going to be disappointed.
That's why the reviews are as good as they are,
Can we
baby.
get confirmation that we're still streaming? Because Twitch might have just banned
Is there
us.
a warning underneath us now?
Listen, I didn't say anything that the President of the United States didn't say on the air. So if you thought what I said was bad as a pretend Michael Keaton, remember, politically, this has been fine to say to the good folks at
So,
CNN.
kind of off of what Tommy was saying about the screening he saw, it's been interesting how they've been rolling this out.
Right.
Like, they've been showing people this movie for months
Yeah,
now. Tom Cruise saw it, like, last year.
Yeah. Loved it.
Tom Cruise saw it 10 years ago.
But as they've been showing it to different people, obviously, even though it's not totally finished, they have been not showing post-credit scenes.
Right.
Right?
yes.
Tommy saw one post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's another post-credit scene. This has already come out in the press that they're not going to put on any of the advanced screenings.
Yeah.
We had someone at New Rockstars also say that the version they saw felt like something from
just
the
ended.
ending was out.
Yeah, like the movie just ended abruptly.
Yeah.
It didn't even have like what
It does-
felt like the ending.
I could say, I think mine was based on conversations, a slightly more finished product, but there were definitely some like placeholder effects in there that were not quite like, just things you can kind of tell like this is not a fully rendered design.
It's kind of wild because we got our first look at this movie in June 2020.
Right.
DC Fandom.
Right.
Yeah, they had a little clip.
Wow. Yeah.
But I
it's
do-
been
That was like
Wild.
October.
Maybe
Was
it
June?
was later.
But I also wonder if like the screening that I saw last week, that could have been something that was assembled 2 months ago.
Sure,
You know what I mean? Like they're just
And it's also it's not out of the ordinary for movies to be
Yeah, right.
finished weeks.
I mean, like,
Like
when I did this
Spider-Verse, they were finished. They added that dinosaur in like 5 days.
and
before
like
the movie came
I
out.
mean, like famously Sonic, like the first Sonic trailer came out and people were like, "Ew, get this crazy hedgehog away from us!" And they like turned it around by almost killing their animators
Good.
in like 4 months, right? They like
But
completely redesigned it.
I kind of just real quick before we get into plot details and our predictions. It's interesting. They know they have a good movie on their hands, so they're trying to show it to as many people as possible to get word of mouth strong out there. But they also don't want to spoil the movie or risk it being spoiled for people that don't get to see it early, so they're leaving out some important stuff. I kind of like that strategy. That's kind of fun.
And if you remember correctly, during Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, we were like, "Is there a secret post-credit scene to this?" And we did a bunch of like math about like when studios had released screeners to people and withheld things. It's pretty rare that studios will do this thing where they're like,
Right.
"Well, we don't want to show you the whole movie." I bet with this release, it'll start to be a little bit more commonplace.
Yes.
I think it's better. I mean, I've said before on this show, I think like obsessing and like leaking the post-credit scene sometimes can overshadow the experience of seeing the actual movie. So many times as fans, I myself am very guilty of it. We're so excited about what's going to come next that we miss out on the present. And, it's like this movie, I think, especially given the kind of like hard reset the DCU, complete with a name change, is getting in the coming years, this movie is a really nice kind of wrapping up of some of the highlights of the DCEU, some new themes and some new information and some exciting kind of storylines and points. It's definitely meant to be enjoyed as a film, not as a stepping stone to what is coming in the future.
Great.
That's great.
You will be very satisfied with this film standalone, I think, from my point of view.
Real quick, you didn't have any trailers at your screening?
No trailers.
Do we get an Aquaman 2 trailer?
That wouldn't shock
Blue
me.
Beetle's first.
yeah, I would say
well,
Blue Beetle.
but we've seen a Blue Beetle trailer.
I think a new Blue Beetle trailer.
Maybe a new Blue Beetle. Do we get any Aquaman in this?
I would hope they have some sort.
Coming out
We know
December.
Aquaman's
Is it?
done. It was supposed to come out
Yeah.
last December, so
I
I would hope there's some sort of Aquaman.
I'm excited for Blue Beetle. That
Yes.
trailer. I mean, I think that's a good character. I really hope they keep.
But
him.
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Sorry.
We got to talk Flash. Tommy, do you want to lead us through as
Yes.
the moderator of this, the only person who's seen the movie?
Listen, I'm the only one that has the self-control to lead a segment
Oh,
of the
okay.
show. We know that based on the comments I'm sure are roaring in on our Twitch stream. So I want to know, and I'm going to try my best. This will be a great exercise in restraint for me. I'm going to stay as stoic during your answers, no matter how good or bad they are. I want to know from the three of you, what are your predictions for this movie? We know from the trailer that Barry's going to mess up the timeline. because he's trying to bring his mom back, right? Like, that's Barry Allen. That's every Barry Allen in every universe. Something bad happens to his mom. I mean, different comics have different reasons why she's killed. You know, the TV show famously used Dr. Zoom was the person who killed Professor Zoom. Listen, call in if you know.
Is he tenured?
Why don't you zoom in?
Zoom in if you know the answer. No, that was the TV show version.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what this movie does. What do you guys think about the plot? What do you think the rules of the multiverse are going to be?
So yeah, it seems like from what I've been able to piece together,
From
what I've seen
trailers,
in the trailer, he like acts. He's trying to mess with time, which is never a good idea, folks. Read the Time Machine. You can't go back to change something that gives you the idea to travel through time. It doesn't make sense. But he's trying to travel through time and winds up in a new universe because it's like his mother died when he was younger. So when he gets to where he is and his mom's still alive and is older, he must realize, well, I haven't traveled through time. Well, where am I now? And then we see, like, as another Barry is walking up, he has to run outside to knock him down. So, like, very quickly, he's probably putting together, I'm in the wrong place. But that means he's able to travel the multiverse, not through, like, a portal, not like a hole in space, right? But through, like,
I don't know. We see him
passing through it. In a
doing
weird
that
way.
reach out to Bruce.
That's the other thing, right? We had that scene in Batman versus Superman where a Barry from the future is reaching out to Bruce and says something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
She's
definitely
Oh,
clean
she's
up.
the key. That's
Yeah.
right.
They definitely. First of all, remembering that fact makes this movie all the more like ridiculous. Or makes that.
Well, that's
movie-
why Bruce Wayne's probably not like, yeah, I know you're gonna travel through time because you already done did it.
It makes the Batman vs Superman more ridiculous now. This movie and how much they've cleaned up the rules of all of that.
Well, and I could be misremembering. It's we purposefully tried to not watch the trailers back today so that we could try to do these predictions with, like, fresh minds, or not with too many clues.
Right.
I'm trying to remember. He goes to a world without metahumans, right?
That's what I believe happens in the trailer.
Okay.
I assume that whatever timeline he shows up in, there's never been a Superman.
I don't even know what are the multiverse rules. He's the only person that needs to abide by them. We might not even find out. He
I
might
think
just be
the
trapped.
rules of the multiverse are if you want to transfer the multiverse, there's no quantum time tunnel. There's none of that nonsense, right? You get on the
Just gotta be
Flash's
fast as
back
hell.
and you ride him like a horse.
Whoa,
And he
can you
takes
hold
through
on?
it.
Are you able to hold on?
I think we've seen the Flash move people, right? Or am I
Yeah.
thinking of Quicksilver moving
No, he
people?
can move
in
people.
X-Men? He can move people. How are they
And a
not
hot dog?
destroyed? How are they not destroyed by the speed? Ripping
Ah,
the skin from bone.
Just watch the movie.
Oh,
Or just the
Okay,
Speed
okay.
Force,
Should we-
when you touch... I'm glad that none of us know how the Flash works. Does the Speed Force, like, transfer... If you're touching someone, are you surrounding them with Speed Force so that you can move them at the same
Don't
time?
look at me. I don't.
Well, I like this idea. I want to, rather than talk about that, I want to pivot to what I want to talk about. And that's, do you think this movie either caps off the Snyderverse era, gives it a fitting conclusion, or launches a new era when you're messing with multiverses and you can kind of recast things and reboot things, create those kind of plot devices, maybe boots into the gun verse, which we know this entire film was created before that came along, or a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I'm going to take you back to 2017. I was a young boy stepping into the movie theater to see Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to say something that might bother people. There's a moment in the film, we all know it, the ship goes like through the other ship, whatever. And Carrie Fisher is like out, Leia is out in space. She looks like she's going to die. I was sitting there in the theater and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe the filmmakers got this lucky. My phone's ringing somewhere.
Rude.
I can't believe the filmmakers got this lucky.
Hello?
Like, Carrie Fisher had unfortunately passed away at that point. This is like such a great way. She sacrificed herself, a great way to, like, say goodbye to her character. She does something really noble. And then she does the Superman thing, gets back on the ship, and has like another third act, right?
And another movie.
And a little bit of another movie. They squandered an opportunity that I think that they should have taken advantage of to do right by that character. And I think this movie, if they're smart, will take advantage of the multiversal elements of the film and the real world stuff where, I don't know if Warner Brothers wants to move forward with the character, and they're definitely moving on with sort of a new universe. I think they have to tie this into future DCU stuff.
I mean, they have to solely because of Aquaman 2,
Well, that
right?
too.
If you're going to say that, like, this guy exists and he was part of everything that happened in Justice League, then yeah, the Snyderverse still has to, like, live on. He can't be fully destroyed. Not yet. And I think Blue Beetle is going to take place in whatever new DCU they have coming. And maybe the world of Blue Beetle won't have a Superman, won't have a Batman yet. And if they're going to do a weird thing where it's like, yeah, none of these characters have been established, right? Because the way the Snyderverse worked, like, there was a Batman for a long time. We never saw the beginning of the Batman.
You get close up.
Right?
Wait. Did you just say, John, there is a Batman? In
Yeah,
Blue
they
Beetle?
do. They call him a fascist in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
They say Batman's-
So, but we don't know
sorry to-
that. We don't think that's Ben Affleck. We don't think
No,
it's Robert
I bet
Pattinson.
it's not.
We don't know who it is.
I know something you don't.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I don't know. I think it gives a great opportunity for both, and I think you're right that like they can do it in a way, even if this entire film was created before James Gunn was hired, right? Like they can do it in a way that is open-ended setup for new stuff, right? That can maybe bring to a conclusion, give an out, but just gonna let us peek through the new window into the new home that is being built for us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say you guys aren't ready to see Henry Cavill as Batman, but you're gonna.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding. Fake spoiler. All right, guys.
Controversial.
Speaking of a real not spoiler, a real fact about the movie, Michael Keaton will appear as Batman.
What?
Now, we already have heard from me here first. He said some pretty problematic things. But aside from those remarks, and hoping that those are brief and we move on from them, what other forms of heroes might we see?
So we know we're getting Ben Affleck as Batman. We know we're getting.
What's your
Michael
prediction?
Keaton.
Everyone give me one hot
Well,
And
prediction.
we
Brandon
know,
and
we
I-
know we get Michael Shannon Zod.
Brandon and I, a few weeks ago, were saying our Batman is Christian Bale.
Yeah.
That's the Batman that we grew up
No.
with.
Yes.
Um,
I had to do a timeline thing in my head. Yes. That's
You were
the Batman
born
I
in
grew up
2002?
with. Yeah, I was born in 2002.
That's the Batman we grew up with. Those are the movies that we camped out at midnight premieres for. Blah 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 blah. Like I, as a fan of that character and a fan of the portrayal of the character, if you're putting all these Batmans in the movie, get Christian in there, man.
I think the end of the movie will be the Flash having lunch in London, and he looks over
right. I forgot
and he
how that
sees
movie ended.
Christian Bale eating lunch, and he's like, "Is that a Batman?"
He's like, why are they
And then-
calling Paris
and then-
London now?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And then
Which because Michael Keaton's Batman never got like a retirement in a
No,
movie.
he is, and that's the other thing, because people have talked about. Sorry to jump on this, but people have talked about seeing like George Clooney as Batman or seeing Val Kilmer as Batman in this movie, but like they are the same Batman as Michael Keaton.
Same
That's the
Alfred,
same Batman.
same Gotham.
Yeah, so that we should not see George Clooney, or that would be wild.
Whereas, like, Christian Bale got to retire. So, in theory, if we were to see present day Christian Bale, Batman, Bruce Wayne, like, yeah, he should be in
should
fucking
be in
a
jail.
linen shirt
I mean,
on the Amalfi Coast
With
or whatever.
time
right?
travel and multiverse stuff, right? Like you could theoretically go to a different time period.
They're
I-
also is this? I mean, this is Tim Burton's Batman, right? But it's not the same Gotham from the movies we saw, right? Because it's not like super comic book styled Gotham.
Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, where Batman is pushing a dude with a bomb down a chimney and blowing his ass
Where does
up.
he
You
get
know what I'm talking about?
those wonderful toes?
And you got to ask, so like we've just done Across the Spider-Verse, which is a multiverse movie. There are heroes and villains from each world, right? Like Earth 42 has its own, Miles and its own, Uncle Aaron. Is the Zod from this movie going to be from Keaton's world? Or like how's that going to work?
Here's what I'll say. You guys are all going to be very surprised by this movie. I like some of your predictions hold a little bit of water. Some of your predictions are thinner than a spaghetti strainer. Let's check out what people are saying in the chat. It's not a Flash movie. It's a
Realtree
Michael Keaton Batman movie from Realtree 14. The Realtree 14.
Interesting. Bar IC137. I really hope Blue Beetle gets to stay moving forward. I assume that means like continues on.
I mean,
with
that
the
kid's a
James
star.
Gunn.
You know, I think they'd be smart to keep
I
it.
really know nothing about the character, but I'm intrigued and highly anticipating it. I think it would be really dumb to introduce this new character only to immediately get rid of him.
And I think
Well,
Gunn-
tell that to Black Adam.
Yeah, tell that to Dick Tracy.
And I think
Tell that to
Gunn-
Catwoman by
Gunn-
Halle Berry.
Gunn kind of hinted at that being the case.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, there's
maybe
no way
Aquaman
that
or
this
something.
character does live on. But if this character is living in the Snyderverse right now, I think the end of this movie is going to establish, like, oh, if you ever want to switch universes, just come on over here. We'll leave a portal open in this cave for you.
I don't know if this was officially one of our prediction questions, but does this movie end with Ezra Miller still being a Flash?
There's no shot.
No
well,
shot.
Well, maybe in their own universe.
Yeah.
Oh, but not in
they
the
say-
universe
we're
that we are going to
we're not
continue to
keeping
film.
Ezra universe for the DCU.
Well, I'll say this. You guys seem to have a grasp of the multiverse. You seem not to be tired of it. We asked the chat if they're tired of the multiverse. 100% of them said no.
100%.
Okay.
It's a clean sweep.
Well, and as you know, as this age of comic book movies, they've existed for a long time, but this kind of age of intense amount of comic book movies, right?
yes.
Some done very well, some done less well. As they continue on, like, we are reaching these points where our actors are, they continue to age, and like they can't be these characters forever. They get tired of playing these characters. They're getting old. They're getting worn out. Comic books for a long time have like reset when like things don't work. They introduce powers. The powers go away.
52. Yeah.
Not even that. In arcs, the Amazing Spider-Man went on for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of issues, and Peter Parker aged very slowly through those.
Bart Simpson is in the same grade.
But it's like, I think as movie audiences, we have to get used to being like, hey, this can be the same place you've always seen. These are just new faces, and
Well,
we're going
and
to tell
I
these
think if
stories
anything,
and not reset every time.
If there is any multiverse fatigue, it is that in the last 2.5 years, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, obviously not comic book movie, but Everything Everywhere All at Once is multiverse.
Well, and X-Men
We
did
just saw
this
the Spider-Verse
10 years
movies.
ago, right?
Sure, and I think it feels like it is a particular plot device that is being used a lot right now. And it's also like, it's like when we used to talk, when we were doing Rick and Morty coverage, and the thing they would always say in Rick and Morty writing rooms is like they didn't want to do time travel, because like once you've introduced that, then like all bets are off, right? Like there are no more rules anymore, or whatever. It feels like we are getting close to that with these multiverse movies of like, oh, well, literally when you can do anything you want and there
There's
are no
no
stakes.
consequence, yeah.
Yeah, because, like we can kill all the characters and just go to another multiverse where they're all here again, right?
Yeah.
It does feel like we need to see what's on the other side of multiverse as a plot device.
And
right?
I'll be honest, I think all music needs to be taken down a peg because there's multiverses in every song. Last Secret Invasion question. Christian Unpronounceable says, what do you think about Coulson showing up in Secret Invasion? I think very highly of it. I love
This
Clark
would
Kent.
be wild.
I can't do it. I can't do
This
the
would be
Agents of
wild.
S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't do the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. New Rockstars fans
He's MCU canon.
are...
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But he's
dead.
dead.
Yes, MCU.
He's dead again?
Well, in MCU canon, he's dead.
We've had-
We love all of our fans equally. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
not true.
ones are just the lowest of the equal.
There are so many fans I don't like at all.
Oh, okay.
Most of them.
Hey, comment in the chat if you think you're one of those.
Yeah, if you think I like you, comment and I'll tell you if you're right. Speaking of being right, it's time for mandatory fun.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yes.
That graphic.
Mandatory fun. This is the segment where I find my 3 best friends. I bring them in under the guise of us doing a break room show,
Oh, okay.
but it's really a backdoor pilot. Speaking of backdoor pilots, I flew on Southwest this weekend, and hello, whole staff was gorgeous. 10 out of 10. For my new segment, mandatory fun.
Did you get a funny a safety instruction?
I
on
got
your
so.
Southwest?
I mean, I got so much more. I got a fist bump.
Whoa!
Whoa.
And then the guy
Sanitary.
shook my hand. Anyway, a new Star Wars game was announced. Star Wars: Outlaws.
Colon Outlaws.
Show the graphic.
Whoa!
Oh!
Can we zoom
Very
in?
nice.
We don't have a zoomed in version, do we?
It's an open world game.
Wow, an open world
Oh,
game.
we do have a zoomed in game.
But let's be honest, there's one star of this poster, and that's this hot-ass droid. We haven't seen a droid this hot since the Lost in Space Netflix reboot.
It's a good.
Remember
it's like
that guy?
Oh, I
And
do
a
remember that.
jacket
reboot.
and a belt.
My
Are you
God.
talking about the show on Netflix?
Yeah,
not
the Parker Posey one.
Oh, okay.
Not the Matt LeBlanc.
Not the Matt LeBlanc.
No.
Can we bring him up again? We want to comment on his
Also, we
robot?
should have had that droid in this contest.
With the robot.
Okay, so the sexy droid.
It's a repurposed battle droid from the Clone Wars.
Right.
He's wearing a jacket.
Why does he need a
You
belt?
know what's weird about his sex? It's a lot of it's in the posture.
Yeah, it's
He's,
a
like,
very
so
sexy
cool.
posture.
And he's like looking up to the side. He's got like a man with no name kind of clip.
Yeah. He's got a duster.
Edge to him. He's wearing a duster.
I'm not burning the dust.
I mean,
Also,
his
his
abs
feet-
are going crazy.
His feet, though they are just robot feet, are kind of boot-like.
Well, some
And he
people
does
are into
his
those.
robot abs.
This
yeah.
droid has a level of confidence that I will never have,
Yeah.
and therefore I hate this droid.
Yeah.
I find him problematic, and I'm going to spend my night researching this droid's tweets to get him canceled. But this makes me think, guys, in all of time and space, what's everyone's hottest robot?
Yeah, sexy robot.
Yeah.
Brandon, you
This
want
is
to lead
what
it?
we're doing on the show today.
I'll go first. I mean, we had a lot of discussions about this, a lot of
did,
arguments
there were
around
fights.
it. You will see some of these gentlemen have picked robots that present as human, which I don't think is true or fair to the competition.
You don't get to make the rules.
I make the rules here. I'm not making a rule. I'm just making a statement. This is my opening statement.
fine.
Also, no one else is allowed to make a statement on this.
Okay.
Originally, I would have gone with Rosie from the Jetsons. She's hot as hell. She's got a lot of curves. Mouth's a problem, but we'll get past that.
Wait, mouth is in the things she says or her physical?
Yeah,
Physical
she
mouth,
mouths
it's,
off
it's
too
kind
much.
of like a steel trap door that it's dangerous.
Well, you know what Brandon always says about women? They're best kept silent. That's what he says, not me. This is what Brandon always
Spending
says.
too much time with
Wait,
kids.
what were Brandon's thoughts on COVID?
No, come on.
Oh,
Those
he
have been
doesn't call it
stated.
COVID first.
Check my tweets. Check my tweets. There's a new hot robot on the game,
plague.
folks. And not only is she's very sexy, she's very beautiful, she's very powerful, but you can also ride her around town. Talking about RC, okay? RC coming in looking great.
Wait, you got mad at us for
She's a
picking
Ducati?
human-looking robots?
That does not present as if that
She's
walks,
got breasts.
Tell
if
me.
it walks down the
Tell
street.
me
She's
that's
got
not anything.
roboobs.
Why does a robot need boobies?
It doesn't.
To
That's
nurse
the
their
part of a motorcycle.
their baby bots.
It's to fuck with.
Optimus Prime's got breasts.
You're not going to feed an Autobot formula.
And I haven't seen the film yet. She's a motorcycle.
She becomes a motorcycle, a Ducati. And she
She
either
Italian?
holograms the rider or it's like part of her machine. I don't know what I mean. But in theory, she doesn't need it there, and then you could ride around town.
Well,
That'd be great.
little-
And she's got guns.
Give me your
fun
daily
fact.
driver.
Yeah.
She later on, the driver becomes another transformer that she can bond with.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm talking
that's
about.
kinda
So
sexy.
RC, we're glad to have you as part
By
of
later
the-
on, I mean in the
Also,
RC from the cartoon.
You pointed out this is maybe the first Transformer or one of the first that has lips.
She does have like very constructed lips.
Does she do like a pouty?
Optimus Prime
Oh,
doesn't really
yeah.
get lips, but she got lips, and I think they did a good job with her face. Where like Optimus Prime's face
Yeah,
is very
jaggedy
mechanical
kind
and like
of.
so many pieces. Because
Did you guys think Scourge looking just like Ultron was a little distracting?
It was
He looked
weird
a
when
lot.
like the mask came off on Scourge,
And
and
he
his
kind
mouth
of-
was like kind of muckle mouthed
Yeah.
and weird and like burnt off.
And Dinklage robotic sounds a little bit like James Spader robotic, like a little, just enough.
Doing a little Spader.
Not
I,
exactly.
honorable mention to Ultron. Ultron is sexy as hell. And
Yeah,
I was
Ultron.
thinking about Ultron. I was
Very
thinking about Ultron.
sexy.
I couldn't pick a version of
I think-
Ultron. We almost went with Vision for my pick.
Oh,
Vision's
yeah.
very
I
hot.
thought
Yeah,
that was a
yeah,
good
yeah.
pick, but he's dead. Which you can't fuck with
R.I.P.
corpse.
Yeah, disrespect to White Vision.
This competition about who you want to fuck more. It's just sexy.
Yeah, sexiest robot.
Sexy.
Isn't that?
It's not always part of it, John.
Anyways, I also wanted to choose Mackenzie Davis / Ana de Armas, the mashup from Blade Runner 2049.
It's
But
AI
nobody's a
holograms.
robot.
It's not a robot.
I've been told that AI doesn't count, and you have to be.
It's a
but
computer.
but
It's a
she's
computer program getting projected onto a human
I mean,
woman.
I don't know.
There's no
I don't know.
robot.
I don't know what you call. Whatever. How is that not a robot?
Well, then why aren't we just counting women that have had LASIK? Get out of here, John.
I don't know what that means.
John, get out of here.
So I had to settle. They all picked their sexy robots before I did. But I settled on someone good because it is the robot. Her name is Karen from SpongeBob. And she is Plankton's assistant.
Yes.
And I want her to step on me like she steps on Plankton.
Whoa!
Very Saga, very Prince Robot, right?
All right.
With the television face.
She's
I
just
like
got such authority. You
And
know what
I
mean?
I said, of course, an MRI machine because they save lives and you can fit your whole body inside them.
that. Christ.
No, I'm just kidding.
show.
I said Dot Matrix. Joan Rivers' character from Spaceballs.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Look at that. You want a classic gal?
Birthing hips.
Listen, She'll carry your human robot abomination babies. Don't worry. Zach, who do you got for us?
And then I went. This is what sparked the argument with Brandon. I went with Ava, the robot from Ex Machina, played by Alicia Vikander, also the Tomb Raider. Super sexy in that movie. Now, Brandon argued that she presents as human, but really, her hands and that one chunk of her face are the only parts that present as human. All the rest is like wires.
Skin on at the end of the movie.
Yeah, you put a wig on her. You can go to Trader Joe's with her with a wig on. No one's gonna say anything to you.
I have a question.
I go to Trader Joe's with RC. Suddenly, it's a problem.
You could ride RC to Trader Joe's.
Thank you.
Should I watch this movie? I've never seen it.
It's not good.
I've heard of it, but is it good? Is
It features Oscar Isaac and Donald Gleason and Alicia Vikander and one other woman are literally the only actors in the whole movie.
Right.
No kidding.
Very good. And it's from the guy.
Also a helicopter pilot.
Oh, sorry. But there's
Can't forget him.
it's from the guy Alex
Garland. He wrote Sunshine,
Annihilation, and the Devs series on FX.
Okay.
It's good. It's a dark kind of thinking, but I need to rewatch it because with all this advancement in AI that we've all been experiencing living on Earth in the last year.
We thought about doing a new Rockstars video. That was how that movie predicted the rise of AI.
I filed for divorce with ChatGPT this week.
Wait, you used to be married from ChatGPT?
ChatGPT and I have been secretly married for 5 years, and it's over. I used an attorney, and it was very expensive. ChatGPT is representing himself.
Throw in the chat, if we've got some time, throw in the chat the sexiest robot we didn't mention. Some other honorable mentions. Fembots from the Austin Powers movie. They're designed to be sexy.
C-3PO, he knows.
C-3PO has his advocates. Gigolo Joe from AI, played by Jude Law. He's a love robot.
Bicentennial Man, very sexy.
BB-8's got that little thing that folds out. You don't know what he can do.
Also, Mackenzie Davis, the actress that Ana de Armas put over the top of her in Blade Runner 2049, played a pretty sexy Terminator in Terminator Dark Fate.
Did they recast her? Like, did she do all the acting and then they brought Ana de Armas? Or was she the...
No, you gotta watch the movie.
You gotta watch the movie.
You haven't seen this
She
film?
plays a human.
It's actually an incredibly sexy
good
scene.
scene.
It's
It's a good
sexier than anything else we're talking about, but there's no robots involved, so it doesn't count.
Oh. You know, sometimes I do drawings that I find sexy. Do those count? I'll do like a little sketch and I'll be like, oh, I'm kind of turned on by that.
What's in your sketches, Tom?
Mostly just like shapes, but sometimes the shapes take on more human persuasions.
What kind of humans do they look like?
Mostly ghosts and ghouls. They're people that are decomposing, people that have been in my basement for a while. You know, people that came to my birthday party but didn't bring a gift, so they had to learn a valuable lesson. Stuff like that.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
Hello, Pink and,
I didn't think it was one of those.
Let's just say me and Michael Keaton aren't so different. You want to get nuts? I have both of them, but they're enlarged.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'm going to have to come out soon.
Oh my gosh. Before we do see Flash this weekend, do you think there is anyone besides like different versions of Superman or Batman that people have been talking about that could show up? Could we see like a Green Lantern in this movie? Or like a Martian Manhunter? Or like
John saying no. You're saying new
Dr.
actors.
Fate?
Well, or do they sneak in, like, is this where we get some future Gunverse Superman or Batman kind of casting news drops in this?
Well, that's the rumor of why they haven't been showing post-credit scenes.
I'm gonna
because
tell
they've
you
been
all
waiting to sign contracts and get someone in front of a green screen.
I'm going to tell you all the cameos right now.
Okay. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa. Thank you for turning off his mic.
Oh, read his eyes. Read his eyes.
Crazy cameo.
He's still going. There's so many cameos. Real quick from the chat, our good friend Christian Unpronounceable from up in Canada saying, Dot Matrix from Reboot.
Oh,
yes,
there we go.
reboot.
I don't know if that's a reboot. She's like, or a robot. She's a program inside of a computer. She's so tiny.
What about Zordon?
Miss Minutes?
Zordon.
Oh, Miss
Ay.
Miss
Minutes is
Miss
a
Minutes
projection.
already has a pretty complicated sexual
That's
history.
Zordon.
Miss Minutes has had a relationship with Cogsworth for years, and if you ever find yourself on the darker side of the internet,
Stop.
put in the Google line, Cogsworth destroys Miss Minutes, and treat yourself to 72 minutes of some of the finest animation.
You cut it down by half?
Let's just say we've done a director's cut, or as I call it, a director's slice.
I mean, you said Zordon, but Zordon was the guy in the.
Oh, who was the other guy?
Alpha is the
Yeah.
little robot.
This is good when
Yeah.
Sarah Hatchadurian saying the Eternals count as robots, and Selma Hayek right? You get both Selma Hayek,
yeah.
Angelina Jolie, Gemma Chan, all
Again,
technically
presenting
robots.
as human. They're all presenting.
They're all
Selma
extremely
Hayek
sexy.
wins any hottest category.
That's right. I just watched Magic Mike's Last Dance, where she's doing the Lord's work in that film. It's a
yeah.
good.
Yeah, Richard Madden and who's another?
Brian
Chan,
Tyree Henry.
Richard
Henry.
Madden kick
Barry
rocks.
Keoghan, Barry Keoghan.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Cookies and Ariel saying Ultra was kind of cute. Oh, Ultron. That's a copy paste.
God
Kind of
damn.
cute. Sexy as hell.
Bonnie Ree 52. This conversation will get BR canceled. Hey, bro.
Hey.
Or
Are we still
not
on? Are we
bro,
still live?
Yeah, we're behind-
TOS?
Terminate on site. Trash bag 2. I was on Reddit the other day, and I could tell you that RC indeed has lips, if you know what I mean.
Oh, my
It's
God.
fine if you were on
Reddit
Reddit
is
the other day. You
banned.
better not be on Reddit
Can't go on
today.
Reddit
You
today.
better not be on Reddit today.
Mike Nasty, 13. Very disappointed no one brought up Tom from Toonami.
I don't know
Oh.
Tom from Tuna.
Tom was the robot that was
How
driving
old
the ship.
is Wally?
Jameson 616. How old is Wally? Asking for a friend.
Jesus
I
Christ!
mean, he's like
Put me in
1,000
his-
years old.
Yeah,
Put me
Wally's,
in his little box
Wally's been
and
alive for
crush
a
me.
long time. Wally's been alive for a long
Who's his
time.
girlfriend? What's his girlfriend's name?
Eva.
Eva's a cutie. And then Mike Nasty 13. Iron Giant has a beautiful soul. TBH.
Iron Giant, if you're into that giantism. Man.
Well, Brandon was saying Iron Giant's not sexy because he's
a little simple-minded
He's got a
for my
simpleton
taste.
brain. I don't know about that.
All I do is live to make love. I am the Iron Giant.
It's a little simple for me.
Hey, I think we better get out of here.
I want to once again apologize to my mom for watching. I'm so sorry.
If we keep going down this road, we're all going to get so turned on. That's it. Or reboot it or turned off. I was trying to think of a fun robot metaphor.
Disassembled.
There it is. That's it
Decommissioned.
for us. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, hey, hit like on this video on YouTube. Like the stream. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube. We're trying to figure it out. We're doing kind of a retro break room today, similar to the old style. We're gonna be trying out a lot of formats here in the coming weeks. We hope you'll go with us on that
We
journey.
got lots of good content coming up, guys. Don't be scared. The future is bright.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tons of Flash stuff on main new Rockstars this week. Be sure to check that out. And a re-breakdown of Quantumania coming out on the channel.
And John and Evan and I secretly invading the green carpet tomorrow. What will we wear? Send us a comment about what you want us to wear. And by the way, just a smile is not an option anymore.
All right. Thank you so much. Keep it Gucci to Moochie.
Hey,
everybody.
guys. Bye.